The Jesus Story, Chapter 2. Jesus begins with miracles and bold claims. Jesus hadn't spoken much publicly before he met his first disciples. Jesus and his half-dozen new friends, including Peter and John, went to a wedding party. The wine ran out. Jesus' mom forced the issue by sending the caterers to Jesus with the problem. My guess? When Jesus and his mom drank wine together, Jesus always brought the wine. The party went great with the wine Jesus made, and his friends started listening very closely. Then they spent spring break in Jerusalem for Passover. When Jesus went into the temple and saw all the vendors, he drove them out. Jesus was doing miracles too, and people loved what he was saying, so the officials were hard-pressed to do anything about it. Jesus said the temple would be destroyed and Jesus would rebuild it in 3 days. Nobody understood a word he was saying, but Jesus was healing people too, so... Jesus met in secret with a highly ranked Jewish official named Nicodemus. Jesus explained that spiritual birth is different than natural birth and happens separately. This is not in the Old Testament. Jesus is saying new stuff here. Jesus declared straight up to Nicodemus that he, Jesus, was the super king. Jesus said that he, Jesus, would deliver the world from judgment. He said, the moment someone believes this, they have eternal life. Belief is the trigger. One of the last things John said publicly, if you believe in Jesus, you have eternal life. If you do not believe in him, God's judgment stays on you. Some equate judgment with execution. The story has already covered all kinds of mercy from God, where he granted pardons and changed his mind. He errs that way. Mercy triumphs over judgment. It's called a pardon, and everyone needs a pardon. God has already promised 100 times all the families of earth will be blessed, and the offspring of that blessing will be innumerable. When I doubt God's promise to Abraham, that doubt is valuable only to a religious system. And all the religious systems in the Bible fail. Right in this storyline, all the governments fail too. Our religious and government leaders today suck as bad as all that came before. Of course they do. The world needs a good king. Jesus was getting bigger, and John moved into the background, right on schedule. At home in Nazareth, Jesus was not accepted. Some of his own family didn't believe. They tried to stone him in his own town. He slipped through the crowd. It wasn't his time. Soon after the Jerusalem road trip, Peter went back to fishing. At the end of the day, Jesus showed him how to really fish. Peter left his nets and followed Jesus from then on. On his trips between Galilee and Jerusalem, Jesus had to pass through Gentile towns. One day, his men came out of a Gentile town to find Jesus at a public well, talking to a Gentile woman. He might as well have walked into a strip club as far as his disciples thought. When Jesus schooled the disciples about his mission, the woman brought the whole town out to see Jesus. That whole Gentile town believed, and Jesus stayed with them 2 days.